Hey guys, Anthony here at Bibles and Barbells, Saturday, February 15th, 2020. In tonight's video, I want to do a few items that I covered or saw in the news lately, and I just want to do some commenting on the topics and open it up for discussion in the comments section. I'm very much considering, guys, doing some live YouTubes. I haven't done any yet to date, so if you guys be interested in that, or maybe some topics that you'd want to talk about, I'm working on setting that up. So I'd like to do some live YouTube videos and maybe even have some guests on local here in this area where I'm from. So let me know if you're interested in that, and I'll see if I can pull it off. So in today's news cluster that I have, I just want to comment on some things. We heard that Bloomberg is considering Hillary Clinton for a running mate, and I was sitting at lunch a few days ago at work with some co-workers, and the topic came up, voting, Donald Trump. There were some things on the TV, and some people at the table began making comments on just how radical and crazy the Democrats that are running for president now are. And I made the comment that I believe that either Hillary or Michelle Obama would enter the race somehow. And they kind of looked at me and said, "Oh, I never thought of that before." I was leaning more towards Michelle Obama entering the race. We haven't heard anything on that yet, but I think it can and will be it's very possible that could happen. Let's put it that way. And that would get Barack officially back into the White House again, even though I think he never left. And I'm going to touch on that in a few points from now. So if Hillary does run with Bloomberg's got a lot of money. He's not super well known, but he could buy his way to almost anything. Look at what he did in Virginia. Virginia down here, I have you got Governor Northam there, and all that they're doing with gun control laws or Second Amendment rights violations. Actually, it's taking away our freedoms, is what it's doing. The loosest abortion controls in the country in Virginia. They're passing laws on that, up to birth and after birth abortions. You're looking at just a wide range of things that corrupt administration's doing in Virginia in such a short time. Racial, social, and economic issues, LGBTQ protections, the broadest that they're proposing. Again, strictest gun control laws, abortion restrictions being lifted and loosened, and then that administration is just a sign of what's to come, state by state, if conservatives don't start winning and speaking up and fighting for what they believe in. And so the Bloomberg Hillary Clinton ticket is a possibility. Don't rule that out. Not surprising that Bernie Sanders is up 10 points over Joe Biden in New Hampshire. I don't think I think they're letting Biden kind of fumble upon himself. I think they're going to let it go so long, and then my prediction was that Michelle Obama was going to enter the race, and then the media would just swoon over her, and the thoughts of Barack Obama and Michelle back in the White House, I think, would be a big attraction to many in this country. So getting back to political contests, when Donald Trump won in 2016, I made the comment. I was still living in Florida at the time, and I made the comment to several co-workers that Barack Obama is not going to leave or give up power. And what I meant was exactly what is happening over the last almost 4 years. We're seeing the biggest political scandal, spying on a sitting president, weaponizing different departments of the government, And that continues to this day. There are many, many people in high places that are loyal to Barack Obama and still view him as the leader. That's why they never left Washington. That's why they have a huge mansion. It's still in Washington, because they never planned on leaving, and they never planned on really giving up their grip on power. And so Obama never left, so don't rule him out. He is still behind the scenes, working and plotting and making his chess moves. The Democrats are rats. The Democrats are rats. Back in when Donald Trump was running, there was people being abused, hit on, spit upon, gassed, just verbally abused and physically abused. That continues to this day and has gotten even worse, and we haven't seen the last of it. The closer we get to the election, the closer we get to the convention that's going to be held here in Charlotte for the Republican Party, one in which I plan or hope to attend, I think we're going to see a lot of violence from the left leading up from now leading up. And I said this in prior videos, and I really do mean it, guys. You have to never underestimate these people that want their grip on power. They want to take away our freedoms. They are doing it in many states. Virginia is one that's proving it. They did not pay attention to the many thousands that marched for freedoms, for Second Amendment freedoms, and they just went ahead and are pushing forth their radical agendas. Voter fraud is going to be off the charts this year, way worse than we saw when Obama's voter fraud back when he ran for re-election in 2012. Illegals voting, getting driver's licenses, things of that nature, illegals being brought in is going to continue. It's continuing at an alarming rate. In fact, if you go to Ann Corcoran's Twitter page, I'll try to put a link in the description box. You could see she kind of tracks all these so-called church groups that are standing for the oppressed, and these groups are getting money hand over fist, many millions of dollars, bringing in people, placing them here, getting them benefits, and lifting them up and putting them in communities all over the country, and not having any qualms about it because they're getting paid big buku dollars. Okay, guys, just follow the money, and Ann helps you do that on her page. Another thing they really don't have is, and this gets back to when Nancy Pelosi ripped a copy of Donald Trump's State of the Union address a while back, a week or so ago. I would love for these Democrats, that what you hear is one of my perimeter alarms going off. Okay, so that just alerts me, and I have different sectors when I'm here filming. I know where and when people are approaching from different angles. So that's what you're hearing in the background. So getting back to the Democrats and the liberals and these socialists, they have nothing at all to stand on. I mean, Donald Trump, as much as I do like him, however, I don't worship him like many do. He's not the savior of the country. He is not perfect, and he cannot save us himself. But he has a lot to stand on with things that he's done so far. And he made that quite evident at the State of the Union. Now, any of these Democrats that are running for president, they have nothing to stand on. They've never done anything. All they've done is taken away things. All they want to do is take away freedoms, oil, worship nature and global warming, and save the environment, and banning of straws. And meanwhile, in their districts, the homeless are crapping in the streets, using needles, sleeping in public places, abusing people, spreading disease, and nobody's helping these people. Nobody's building extra hospitals or treatment facilities for these people. Veterans are on the street. Children are on the street in communities. And they turn a blind eye to it, and they're more concerned with people that don't even belong here. So they have nothing to stand on. Grand Central Station in New York City is an example. The homeless population is soaring in Grand Central Station. In fact, businesses say that after 5:30 p.m., the whole entire Grand Central Station turns into a homeless shelter. There's homeless people peeing themselves, exposing themselves, walking barefoot, almost naked, stealing, abusing people, many mentally disturbed. And what's the mayor of New York City doing about it? What's he doing about it? He's giving gift packages to prisoners getting released from prison, little care packages, so they won't commit crimes again, instead of helping New York out of this mess, or the businesses in Grand Central Station. Do something. They don't have anything to stand on. All they bring is destruction to their communities and the neighborhoods that they run. Look at the locust infestation in Kenya. Millions upon millions of locusts can possibly start a famine there, that they could destroy land in minutes when they land. That's going on in Kenya right now. They could cover a 100-mile area within a 24-hour period, these locusts. Coronavirus. Xi Jinping, the president of China, called for tightened control over online discussion and increased policing. And I watched a video, I think it was on Instagram, of Chinese people being hauled off by men with rifles and pistols in their hand. And these Chinese people were like roped, like you know how they tie children together when they're at those daycare centers so they don't lose anybody. They're kind of just tied hand to hand or waist to waist. That's what these people are doing, and they're being hauled off. Are these people really suffering from the flu? I don't know. Is China using this virus outbreak as a means to quell dissidents in the country, in and around country, also maybe in Hong Kong? I don't think it's an accident that this happened. I don't even know if the coronavirus was man-made. We don't know that. We don't know if this is a planned event. We know that plagues and famines are coming. The Bible tells us that. And we know that many millions of people are going to die. And one of the things that the globalists want is a lesser population. So keep your eyes and ears opened and keep looking up, as I always say in my videos. Virus forecasters run some models, and they're predicting 550,000 cases to 4.4 million cases in China alone of the virus. So let's see what happens about that. Let's see what goes on in our country, how many thousands of people already left the city of Wuhan and other cities and traveled all over the world. So this virus can and will be spreading around the world. So we need to keep a close eye on it. Then you need to take preparations and make preparations for it. Right back here I have my kit building up with masks and glasses and Tyvek suits and safety goggles, gloves, disinfectants, bleaches, bacterial wipes. You've got to get prepared, and you've got to get this stuff now. This stuff now is still sitting on the shelves in many stores. Go, spend a couple bucks. Don't go out one night, don't go out for dinner, spend that money at Walmart or at the grocery store buying essential items for this, in case you have to self-quarantine instead of being hauled off somewhere. Be able to stay home for weeks at a time without having to leave the house in case this virus gets out of control here in this country. You never know what they're going to spring upon us to get voters not to come out and vote for Trump in November. You never know what these people are going to do. I don't put anything past them. I don't trust them. Don't trust them. Florida has used the red flag gun laws 3,500 times since the Parkland shootings in February 2018. Just something to think about. I think those red flag laws are going to get more abused as time goes on. It's going to be a way that the powers at be can come and take your guns, can come. Basically what it is, guys, is let's not play games here. They're not interested in stopping violence, or gun crimes, and arguing with them and giving them statistics. I've said this many times. It goes in one ear and out the other, because their ultimate goal, their ultimate mission is to take away your freedom and my freedom. That's the ultimate mission. And the Second Amendment is a stumbling block to that. So don't get caught up in arguments with people when you're debating or talking to neighbors or friends or family that hold the view that guns are somehow responsible for all the crime or the bad things in this country. No, they're not. The violent people are, and violent criminals are. People that abuse and don't obey the laws are. Your freedom and my freedom rest upon the unalienable rights given to us by God Himself. And no one can take those away from us. And so that's what they want to do. They want to enslave us. They want to enslave us, and they've done an excellent job since 9/11 in doing that. Look up NDAA, the NDAA. Those laws in there give the government power to put our Constitution aside, put due process aside, and just come and pick people up like the Gestapo. And no way you can get a lawyer, just be hauled away. Those are some of the things we may have to look forward to in this country. They've already been set up. The building blocks of our freedoms being removed have been built. They're just waiting to enact everything. So you're going to see a lot faster, and the pulse is going to be beating on taking away certain freedoms from us and enslaving us further than what we already are. HGTV is on their House Hunters program. I believe I've seen it before. They're going to show in one of their episodes the first throuple, THROUPLE. So a throuple is, in this case, a man and two women married together, like a couple. Like my wife and I are a couple. They're going to show the first throuple on their show. So what we're seeing, guys, is, and it all ties into the sermon I did I think it was a few months ago, that I said was going to set the tone for everything I talk about this year. And it was called Get Out, and I posted it all together. It's 1 hour long. It's a few videos back on my channel, and it's called Get Out. And watch that video, because in there I kind of set the tone, and I biblically show where I think America is biblically, and we are falling fast. And so even these type of videos all tie into that, because what we're seeing is the satanic system being set up, and this satanic system is doing away with gender. It's doing away with ruining people's minds on what they think about who they are, psychologically, physically, LGBTQ, homosexuality. They don't care about these people in general. They care about an agenda, a satanic agenda, because the future of this country and the future breakdown of the family unit and the degradation of the sanctity of marriage and life is all part of Satan's plan. It's all part of this beast system being set up. It's all interrelated. Nothing is happening by accident. All this gender and gender identity and sexual robots coming out now that you could buy for $5,000 or $10,000, it's not going to stop. It's a wave that's coming, and it's sweeping over. having transgender people speak in libraries to children, teaching children or rewriting books, Common Core education. It's all planned to destroy the minds of the young, to keep the minds of the millennials and the younger generation blinded, keep them voting for people like Bernie Sanders, an out-and-out socialist. Bernie Sanders, an out-and-out socialist, has many, many supporters in this country. How is that possible? How is that possible if we call ourselves a Christian nation? How is it possible? We've given up. We've mixed Christianity with satanic rituals and ideals, and it's not going to work, guys. We've, in essence, many in this country have taken the mark. And I'm not talking about a final mark like the mark of the beast, like the book of Revelation talks about. I'm talking about the mark in the hand and the forehead, where we're supposed to have God's word in our minds, in our hand. It talks about that in Deuteronomy. His word is supposed to be permeating through us. We're supposed to be living it out. It's supposed to be close to us. Well, that mark that we're taking now, many people are taking in the mark of Satan. Their minds are being warped and trained by this global elite. Pedophiles. Things being legalized that should never be even thought of. That's where we're headed in this country. That's my video tonight on some of these topics, and that's why I want to go live and do some live videos in the future. So let me know, guys, if you're interested in that and what you think, because I don't see things getting better. I don't want to be a doom and gloomer on my channel. I know who's in control ultimately, and many of you that know Yeshua as your Savior, you know who's in control, and you know deep down inside that a lot of this is going to happen. But where are the people standing in the gap? Where are these people speaking out against the violence, against the vile laws that are being passed? We have to stand and speak out. Even lower officials need to stand and tell the higher officials, this is bullcrap. These laws you're trying to pass are going to hurt our nation. We need to change and turn and go back to our roots, our founding. Biblical roots. We can't keep going this way, guys. It's not going to help. Donald Trump, 4 more years of Trump isn't going to help us if they even let him get in office. These people are desperate for change. They want to change this nation in the blink of an eye, and they can do it. We're tied into the grid. Electrically, economically. We're tied into everything. You're tracked everywhere you go. Cameras in the streets, cameras in restaurants, phones, your phone's tracking you, your TV tracks you. Everything tracks you. You use your debit card, your bank card, your credit card, you're being tracked. You're being, a profile is being set up. That's how it's going to be when the Antichrist takes over. He's going to have tracking of everyone. This is a test. This is just the beginnings of it. They want it widespread. They want sovereign nations destroyed. They want them all lumped together under like the United Nations type agenda, like Agenda 21. They want control. And they can't have control if we, the people in the United States, want to remain a sovereign nation with laws and values and morals. That all has to be swept and taken away from us. So think about the future. Think about what it's going to be like a year, 5 years, 10 years from now. How your kids and grandkids are going to grow up. What kind of a country do you want them to grow up in? Anthony signing off. Take care. Stay ready. God bless.